Hello, and a very warm welcome to this 20 minutes info session on the TOC Python workshop. I'm going to introduce the TOC Python workshop, the TOC Python workshop. If you're interested in getting started and stop the dabbling, stop the wasting time, following tutorial after tutorial and not really getting out of that trap, this workshop is designed for you. And today I want to introduce it, give you a bit of context, give you a bit of details about this workshop so that you can take off and get out of orbit and begin to put this knowledge into practice. That really is the aim of this workshop, to help you get started and become a practitioner and not a trainee or a student perpetually. My name is Paul Correa, and it's my pleasure and my honor to have you here with me as we talk about this workshop that's going to be coming up in a few days from now. And so please stay till the end. And if you have any questions, you can ask me right at the end. I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Paul. I've been working in for a number of years, and also gone through a couple of years of education. I started my undergraduate education with a BSc in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from the University of Nairobi. And then I went to the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, where I did a postgraduate diploma, master's level postgraduate diploma in mathematical sciences. And then I went on to do a doctorate degree in computational biology from the University of Ireland in Galway. And that's really what has shaped a lot of my experience and my technical knowledge to this date. And in terms of my work, I have worked at Safaricom. I started off there as a graduate engineer, and then I moved on to Alcatel-Lucent, which is now Nokia Networks, where I was a VAS OSS engineer. Then I worked in Cambridge, United Kingdom, at the biggest bioinformatics institute as a 3D visualization lead, building visualization software all the way through the stack, from data models all the way to presentation on the web. And currently, I work for an organization called data.org. But on the side, I've started this outfit called Sci2Pro for training young people, or anyone really, to have the technical skills they need to get started in programming. And that's really my passion. And I see Africa is full of potential. So what you see before you are a few young individuals. 20 years from now, these are the people who will be entering the workplace and will be competing with you for jobs. And you really want to stand out. You really want to lead the way and direct them on how they can grow their skills and career. And that's why we have this workshop. So for you to succeed in a technical career, working as a programmer, you need more than just understanding one programming language. You need to understand the trick behind all these languages. And that's what this is about. I want to show you through the workshop. It's a full day, hands-on, and we'll be rubbing shoulders together as we learn how to work with programming languages. We start off with Python and get a good grounding, set up your environment correctly so that you can actually lead this generation that you see on the screen into the future on how to build software, how to build websites, how to do whatever it is that is needed to work. And one of the great books that I've read, which really inspired me, is a book by a guy called Carl Newport, where the title of the book is So Good They Can't Ignore You. That's really what you need, especially in a day and age where we have AI that's competing with us for jobs. You need to become so good that they can't ignore you. And how do you do that? You do that by mastering your knowledge. You do that by having deep practical knowledge. You do that by being an expert in what you do, having deep knowledge, so that you can stand out. You cannot stand out if your foundations are shaky. So that really is the drive and the impetus. Africa is rich in people, and we really need to develop our human capital so that we can lead and lead the world. So why Python? Why bother with this particular language? Well, a couple of good reasons why you should think of investing foundational and a deep expertise in Python. First is Python is virtually everywhere. You cannot go wrong with Python. Python has a very smooth learning curve. It's not as complicated as certain languages out there, which can be quite exotic, can be quite difficult to get started with. It's a very powerful language once you work with it for a while, but at the same time, it's quite simple. You can actually get started quite easily. A lot of the technicalities of how to write code are hidden from you right in the beginning. But as you pick up speed and become an expert, you can then begin to unravel a lot of those. And that's my aim really is to get you on that journey. Now, Python is used across industry. If you're dealing with numerical analysis, you're dealing with scientific analysis, if you're dealing with data science, if you're dealing with machine learning, if you're dealing with visualization or web design, if you're dealing with deep learning, if you're dealing with big data, if you're dealing with natural language, if you're dealing with transformers, again, which are sort of the state of the art when working with languages, if you're dealing with image processing, there are many libraries. If you're dealing with large language models, there is a host of tools, and Mojo really is the culmination. Mojo is a different language, but it is built around Python. It has the same syntax, it's got the same spirit as Python. So having a good foundation in Python really opens up all these vistas to you. And I think it's a good investment for you to get started. Now, many of you may have taken coding classes before. You may have done a 4-year computer science degree, or a degree in IT, or a degree in software engineering, or in data science. And the sad thing is, a lot of graduates, when they come out, they're not ready. So they have to go to a boot camp in order for them to learn the practicalities. And I think that that is a big, big letdown, that you've spent 4 years of your life, you've got this CS degree, and yet you cannot plug into the workplace. And even in a lot of these boot camps, a lot of them fail for a number of very simple reasons. One reason being that they pack in too much in such a short amount of time. I've seen courses which are a 5-day learn everything in Python course. Now, that is completely impractical. It takes time for you to assimilate new knowledge. That's why we focus on 1-day workshops. In 1 day, you can get a good grounding, take that grounding out and put it into practice. I'm going to go through a little bit of details of how our workshops work. But a lot of courses, a lot of videos on YouTube, you have a 6-hour video that says you learn everything in Python. That's just not practical. A lot of them are without a framework. They don't have a framework upon which you can build your understanding. Many of them want you to memorize, and there's only a certain rate at which you can memorize. A good number of them have got problem sets that are not adequately set for your learning. Either they are too easy and they give you a false sense of confidence, or they're too difficult that you don't really learn anything and they discourage you. Many of these courses don't even take time to help you with your IDE setup. And that's what we really emphasize. Without the proper IDE setup, you can really get lost in the water. And perhaps I think the saddest thing is, a lot of these courses, you are on your own. If you're learning through Zoom or you're learning through a video, you're really on your own. You don't have a community to support you. Well, what is different about ours is, first of all, we do have a framework, and we call it TOC. And TOC applies across programming languages. It's not confined to one programming language. You can find it in Python, in C, in Ruby, in Go, in C++, in C. In all these languages, TOC applies. And once you master the fundamentals of TOC, then you can navigate between languages quite fluently. So what is TOC? Well, T stands for types. We represent things in the world through types. Initially, you start off with simple types like numbers, words, categories, and then later on you move to more complex types, container types. And then much later on, you move into more sophisticated types, such as modules and classes and so on. O stands for operations. If you have types, you need to be able to do something with these types. And that's what operations are there for. Operations represent how types interact with one another. For numeric types, we have the ordinary arithmetic operations. And for string types, you have additional operations such as concatenation, or where you can extend a string, you can search a string. All these are operations on types, and it's very useful to map them out for each particular type so that you can know what you can do with the types. So T is types, O is operations, and C stands for constructs. Constructs are the language features and how they're presented. And the one interesting thing you learn is that constructs vary by language, but the principles remain the same. You have branching constructs which apply across different languages, but it's how they're expressed. And knowing what the structure of these constructs are like is very helpful to give you just a high speed understanding of what you need to do with that language or how you work with that language. So this is our framework. We'll spend a lot of time during the day just mastering this framework, looking at different properties of different types using this particular framework. And I think it's a very useful way you can later on apply it if you're learning a new language. So that is TOC, but why don't we put it into practice? So what I have in front of you is some very simple Python code where I've highlighted everything in red are the types, everything in green are the operations, and everything in blue are the constructs. So for example, if you are defining variables, we can define x to be the value 5, which is an integer. So now that we know x is of type integer, then there are certain operations that apply to this integer. In this case, these operations are expressed through operators. And these operators allow us then to do calculations, express equations, and all sorts of things. Strings are a different type, and strings have their own types of operations, which allow you to do different things. You can print a string on the screen. You can concatenate using things called F strings. Then with container types, we can apply extension operations to join multiple types. And in this course, we will actually look at two types of containers which are essential. Here's a more complex example in Python where we have a class, which is a construct. We have methods, which are constructs using the def operator, def keyword, and we are defining a new type called the SQLite adapter type, which depends on or extends another type called a persistent adapter type. And these are ad hoc types, and you can build your own types. So this is a complex Python example, but it illustrates the same ideas. Why not look at something slightly more complex? So this is an example from C, from a project I worked on, where we have, again, in red, we have the types. So here we have a ucar object, a ucar, which is actually a character string, but unsigned character string. And you have an operation here, which creates a new memory object. So this is actually the Python C extension language, which is written in C. And here we have a construct called while, which takes this set of arguments here. It's got an I, which is an integer, which was defined somewhere. I don't think it's defined here, but it would be defined earlier in the code, and it references another variable. And in between them is an operation which compares I and input size. So these are just examples that illustrate how TOC applies. Now, one of the things about this course is we do have a study guide. It's an 88-page document that covers all the content. It's full of a lot of interesting examples and illustrations. Right at the beginning, in the first section of this document, we show you how to set up PyCharm. Now, PyCharm, in my opinion, is the gold standard for programming in Python. It's such a wonderful IDE, and it's free. It's absolutely free. You can download it, install it. It works on Mac, on Windows, on Linux. And once we've set you up, we don't just help you set up, we also help you configure Git. We help you set up a GitHub account so that you now have the right environment to get started. And then we look at what are called atoms, and those are the simple types. And we look at the operators and operations that apply to atoms, as well as the fundamental IO operations that you can do with them. And then in the third section of this course, we look at containers, we look at lists, and we look at dictionaries. And we ask the question, what are the fundamental things we're trying to do with containers? And then in the last part, we then look at constructs. And here we focus on three very important constructs. If, the branching construct; for, a looping construct; and def, which is a function construct, or a way to make parts of your code have a name. It's a beautiful function that you use. So it's an 88-page workbook. It's full of examples, multiple choice questions, and challenges. And the cool thing is it's free. You can actually go to this link and have a look at this document, download it, go through it on your own if you want to, but better, join us for the workshop so that we can go through this book together and we can work together through this. It's a PDF. On that link, you'll find videos, you'll find slides, and you'll find the MCQs to test yourself. Now, about the workshop, this is a live workshop. This is an in-person workshop. We don't do Zoom. Zoom is just these info sessions. Why? Because we learn better together when you are in a room with other people. When someone asks a question, you benefit from them being in the room. It's much easier to get a tutor to come over your shoulder and give you support and to help you with your computer, make sure that it's configured correctly. Be a part of an amazing and supportive community. It's not just about what you're going to learn, it's also about meeting new people. We're going to have excellent ambience. You have tutorial support throughout from beginning till the end of the day. We're going to make a lot of emphasis on good coding habits. We're going to catch you doing the wrong things and help you fix those before you get out of, you start building upon the wrong foundation. You're going to make new friends. What better opportunity to make new friends while you're learning coding? So when, where, and how many places? At the moment, we are saying that it's going to be a two-work co-working space. We are yet to confirm this. But once you register, you're going to get all the confirmation in the coming week. It's on Saturday, the 6th of September. That is 1 week from tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we have 8 places remaining. So if you want to sign up for this, do that now. Now, how much is it going to cost? Well, for the next 24 hours, we have a 37.5% discount. Only for those 8 places, we have that 37.5% discount. And that's how you pay. There's a QR code there. Take a screenshot and then scan this, follow this, get more information. Or if you want to try it using the URL, bit.ly/talk-python-workshop. After the 24 hours, it goes up to 25,000 shillings. If I think, yeah, within that time. So you'll have a few hours when it'll be 20K. And then from Sunday, midnight up to Friday, 5 p.m., it goes up to 25,000. So it literally doubles next week. So this is the time for you to book. If you want to be part of this, places are limited. We only have 8 places remaining. Book now. So that's it for my presentation. I'm going to stop here and pause. And if is anyone who's got any questions, please ask now. Any questions? You can type them in the chat also. If you're shy, type your question in the chat and just get clarification before you leave this moment when I can answer all your questions. The workshop venue. So right now we are trying to get the two-work co-working space, but we may move it to a place very close to two-work. Okay, so just stay in touch, and I'm going to reach out to you and let you know where exactly the venue once we conclude it. Thanks for that question. Next question. Busy day schedules. Well, it's on a Saturday, so it's a choice that you need to make. If you are working, then We're going to have another session in the future. We're still trying to work out the dates. But at the moment, all we know is about the 6th. We'll probably have one on the 20th, but that's not confirmed yet. All I know is that we're going to have the one on the 6th. The one on the 20th may move, but I'm not sure about that yet. Depends on a lot of factors. So if I were you, I'd take this opportunity now. Take the opportunity while it's before you. Don't wait. Why wait? Why wait? Who knows? I mean, after the workshop, I could be hit by a bus and I wouldn't be there to give this workshop again. I'm not going to give this workshop virtually ever because I believe that learning needs to happen in person. How long is a workshop? It's a full day workshop. So it's from 8:30 in the morning. You come in for registration. We start at 9 on the dot, just like we started this info session on the dot. I want to start at 9 on the dot, and then we're going to end at 5 o'clock. We're going to have three, four, 1.5 hour sessions with three 30-minute breaks in between. So I promise you it's going to be an amazing experience for you. Tell your friends. Don't come just on your own. Come with a friend and get a good grounding, get a good foundation, meet other people. So that's it for, it's a full day. When I say full day from 8:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock at the end of the day. Any other questions? Okie dokie. If we don't have any more questions, then I'm happy to call it a meeting. And you know how to reach out to me. Um, have a lovely day, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye everyone.